you can't run a sales floor and you can't run yourself based off KPIs. I mean, KPIs are just performance indicators. They're not the actual goal. So you'll have a sales manager out there going, you didn't make $150. Yeah, but I made 6 sales. But you didn't make $150.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times the top girl on my team was at my previous agency. She was the top one killing it. Yet she would call me and
Written up
and say,
over and over again.
So-and-so said, I'm not making enough dollars, I'm making enough dollars, but what do you want to do? I'm on the phone all day talking to these people, previous clients or whatever. And I'm like, girl, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't.
She's still there? Go ahead and tell her to quit and come here. Are you sure that top girl wasn't you, Victoria?
No.
Okay.
But I did get written up plenty of times for not making the sufficient amount of dials, the goal amount of dials. So I had a great day. It was like I got a call at the end of the day saying, great day, Victoria, but I'm sorry I have to write you up. I was like, oh, well, that was a downer, you know?
Activity is
so
good,
demotivating.
but what you're looking for is progression. You know, you want to have progress. You can spin your wheels all day long and think you're working, but you have to work smart. You know, you have to move forward. You know, and don't keep doing the same things that fail.
Also, let's look at it just from a raw resource consumption, especially when we're dealing with like web gen leads, which can be very expensive going to the website, looking at quotes, and then we call them, right? When you're dealing with web gen leads, do I really want someone, and I'm just using that because it's a pretty standard thing, or Facebook leads, or any other leads that any agent's out there. Let's say one of those leads is just just off the top of my head, $50, right? That's a lot of money to spend. Would you rather have someone that wants to burn through 50 of those a day to get a sale?
Right.
Or how about a guy that makes like 5 calls a day and makes a sale?
I mean, it makes the perfect sense, but managers and other agencies are told you have to hold your agents to a certain dial standard, and so they have to do what they're told. And I can't tell you how many times I was told, I'm sorry, you know, I know you're a great agent, whatever, right? Yeah, don't worry, doesn't mean anything. Well, you can say it doesn't mean anything what you want.
They're cowards.
So what happens
Because-
if you get agents focusing on dials?
Right.
Right, and that's the wrong metric. I want to look at...
Well, I made $200 today.
Doesn't make
Great
anybody-
job.
There is a
Selling
board
things?
with
No.
sales on it on every sales floor, not dials. I want sales. I want issued policies and persistency on policies. That's it. And everyone's like, whoa, you know, their dials are low. Well, how are their sales? Start off with that. Well, sales are great. Then shut up.
Also, they would complain about fallout. Well, how can I bond with a client if you're standing over my shoulder if our conversation went just a little too long, or our whole talk
There's no such
call
thing
was
as too
more
long.
than 30, 40 minutes?
Yeah, there's no such thing as too long. And I mean, by the way, these structures that get out of place and out of control, where you have directors and managers and, you know, VPs that have never done it, sitting there making bullshit metrics and bullshit concepts of what they think's going on because they read some Zig Ziglar book or Grant Cardone book or whatever book out there about sales, who's also a guy who either died 20 years ago or has been 20 years removed from actually selling themselves because they're just putting out content so they can sell more content, doesn't help anyone. All right? You shouldn't be taking sales advice from an accountant. Oh, I did finance
Somebody
major.
couldn't sell, then became a consultant.
Yeah,
Right.
those who can't
Those who
do
can't
teach.
teach, right.
Right. And by the way, there's some great teachers out there that are great salespeople, and their highest impact is actually teaching now, but they still should do it. You should still hop on that phone and keep your skills warm, because what you were talking about 20 years ago and your perception of what you used to do, that changes with time,
Oh, huge paradigm shift.
right? And by the way, anyone ever met like one of their old crushes and been like, how is this person is the most annoying person on the face of the planet?
Yeah, what was I thinking?
What was I thinking? Well, your perception of who they were has changed. And by the way, sometimes they've changed. Either way, it's not the same as it was 20 years ago. Right? I mean, it's just not. Even in the time I've been doing this alone, it's changed. The core concepts of how people act haven't changed, but we're in a different dynamic. 20 years ago, man, we were in a different country.
Yeah,
Right? We were.
they really were.
So I just find it really disturbing that, hey, and by the way, your leadership in any company, when stuff It's the duty of them to go, hey, why are you asking me to do this to my people? It doesn't make sense. You better make it make sense to me. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. And by the way, if you keep telling me to do something that I know is harmful, I'm jumping your head and requesting masks to go to the guy that told you to tell me to do this.